I'd like to introduce Jill from England, who takes LDN for MS. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you, Linda.
Could you tell me when you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed in '96 when I was 42.
Okay. And what symptoms were you experiencing which led to your diagnosis?
I had two sets of symptoms. The first set was numbness in my legs, and they said that was transverse myelitis. And then a few months later, I had blotchy vision in my left eye, and I couldn't see red very well. When they decided it wasn't a detached retina, they did an MRI scan, and that showed sclerotic patches, so that's when I got the diagnosis. Yeah.
So how long was it after your diagnosis till you found LDN?
Well, I only started LDN last August. I was aware that the symptoms were getting more difficult to manage, and my daughter was getting married in October, so I wanted to be as good as I could be. So I started some research again on the internet to see what treatments there might be, and I went on the Action Research for MS, which is a good website, and they talked a lot about LDN, so I thought, well, that's worth finding out about. And I asked for a consultation with the neurologist last August, and I asked him about having LDN prescribed, and unfortunately he dismissed it. He said, oh, these fads are on the internet, and there's absolutely no reason to think that LDN would have a beneficial effect. So I was knocked back, and that's as far as I got with the NHS about LDN.
Well, can we just go into a bit of detail of what your life was like, symptom-wise, just before you found LDN?
Before LDN, that's going back last year, as I say, the symptoms were getting more difficult to manage. I had fatigue, and that's like a brick wall. It's not just being tired, it's very, very hard to find the motivation and the energy to do anything. And my mobility was deteriorating, so my gait was poor, which was noticeable as soon as I started to walk. And before that, it had been half an hour that I could walk for quite normally, but this was difficult to manage. So I felt it was time to look again at what treatments there might be out there. This was, as I say, last July, really.
So you obtained a private prescription and take it for LDN?
Well, when the consultant said I couldn't get it on the NHS, I started to explore the private prescription side, and you very kindly put me in touch with somebody in Glasgow, Dixon's Chemist, who do prescribe. It costs more than the NHS, but at least you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you notice any initial side effects?
None at all. No.
So how long did it take before you noticed anything?
It's quite quick, actually. I would say certainly within 2 weeks. I'm talking now about the relief of the fatigue.
Yes.
I still get tired, but I don't have that horrible block fatigue, which stops you doing things.
What about your walking?
No, that's much the same. I do vary within one day, and in the morning I can walk, but sometimes in the afternoon I have to sit down. It's just I haven't got the power, either in my leg or in my trunk. I can't hold myself upright, so I have to sit down.
If you had to rate your quality of life before starting LDN on a score of 1 to 10, and 10 out of 10 being the best, what would it have been?
Before starting LDN?
Yeah.
6 out of 10.
And what about now?
Now, 7 out of 10. Not a huge difference, but an improvement. Yeah.
Well, not being so fatigued enables you to function mentally, doesn't it? A lot better as well.
It is a lot better.
What would you say to other people that are contemplating trying LDN?
I'd say try it, because you won't be any worse off, and you might find that there are enormous improvements for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Would you ever contemplate stopping LDN?
Well, this consultant I saw said he could prescribe modafinil, which is a drug they give to people who have narcolepsy in order to help them stay awake. So in other words, it does combat fatigue. I have been debating with myself whether to stop LDN gradually and try modafinil, mainly because on the NHS it will be cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know yet what to do. I'm still keeping on with the LDN at the moment.
Well, my personal experience, I took modafinil.
Oh, you did?
I took one tablet, and I didn't sleep for about 4 nights.
Oh,
I was just so wide awake. I then went and bought some herbal, because I thought it was fantastic, because fatigue was a real big problem. So I went and got some herbal sleeping pills to take at night to help me sleep. After a few weeks, it settled down, so I was full of energy during the day, but I was still able to sleep at night. And then it wore off, and my doctor said I could increase it to 2 tablets a day, which worked. And then after a few weeks, that stopped working. So I asked, could I have 3 a day, and I was told no. And the 2, I'd gone back to where I was. It was pointless taking 2 because it didn't do anything. But that was before I started LDN.
Yes. Yeah.
But that might not be the case with you. It might work for you, but it didn't work.
I've seen the MS nurse about 2 weeks ago, and she said that 3 of her patients rate it. They think it works for them, and 2 of them say there's no difference at all. That is a case of what works for you.
Yes. I mean, as I say, initially it did. It worked really well. I was buzzing, but that effect, unfortunately, soon went. But anyway, thank you very much for sharing your story with us, Jill. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for ringing.
Good luck.
Yes, thank you. I do feel it's important that we state our case, that we do look at the treatments. I think it's very hard to get the NHS to respond, and I think it's important we support each other in accessing the treatments that are out there, and insisting on research as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for doing this, Linda.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.